Hi boys and girls, and welcome back to the farm. This is the third book I've chosen for our special week looking at books on the farm. I was given this very special book a few years ago and it's turned out to be one of my very favourite books in the world. Let me tell you about it. Once upon a time, words began to vanish from the language of children, just like you boys and girls. They disappeared so quietly that at first almost no one noticed, fading away like water on a stone. The words were those that children used to name the natural world around them. Adder, bluebell, conker, gone. Fern, heather, kingfisher, all gone. The words were becoming lost, no longer vivid in children's voices, no longer alive in their stories. You hold in your hands a book for conjuring back these lost words. And today, boys and girls, we're going to get them back. Come on. The first word we're going to explore is acorn. Come on. Boys and girls, the word acorn is the nut of this massive tree behind me here. That is an oak tree. Now obviously at this time of year there's no leaves on the trees, but I will give you a look at the little buds starting to form on it. And I have also brought along some acorns for you to have a look at. So let's have a closer look at the tree that grows the acorns. So these are the buds of the oak tree. As we know, lichen takes a very long time to grow, and this is a very old oak tree, and the amount of lichen on it tells us this. Managed to find an oak leaf on the ground so you can see what shape they are when they're growing on the tree. This one has fallen during autumn. These are the little acorns that grow on the oak tree. You can see the fleshy bit that the squirrels like to eat are held in by these special cups, and these attached to the oak tree. The next word we're going to explore is adder. Now the adder is Scotland's only poisonous snake. Quite cool. Couldn't get you a picture of one because I tend to try and keep out their way. However, do you think you could do some research on the adder and teach me something, please? Conker is our next word. This is a horse chestnut tree on the farm. It doesn't have any leaves on it right now, but it does have some ginormous buds at the end of its branches. And these are the little baby chestnut trees that we're growing carefully. When they get big enough, we'll plant them on the farm. These are some of last year's chestnuts, or conkers as the book calls them. These are the seeds from the chestnut tree. Let's find out about the fern next. So here we've got this big tree covered in ferns. Now if we have a closer look, I'll be able to show you something at the back of them. So these are the ferns. They're actually secured onto the tree with the moss. And as you can see, if I carefully turn one over, the little orange spots on them are actually the spores. Rather than seeds, ferns actually let off spores to reproduce. And these ferns go all the way up the big old ash tree. Special fern is called a hart's tongue because the shape of it looks just like a deer's tongue. And hart is another name for a deer. Cool. The next word I've chosen for us in the book is heather. Let's have a look. Boys and girls, lots and lots of creatures make use of heather as part of their food web. We've looked at food webs quite a bit, and I wonder if you might want to include heather and try and form a food web around it. Who gives energy to who? The next bird in our book is the heron, one of Miss Blackie's most favourite birds, and a familiar sight along the river that goes through the farm. Let's go. The majestic, beautiful heron,
Do you think, boys and girls, that you could draw me a beautiful heron?
The kingfisher's the next word. And a kingfisher, as we know, also lives along the river that passes through the farm. Let's have a look. It's called a kingfisher, and it's called that because it's absolutely brilliant at fishing. It uses its long, dagger-like beak to dive down and pierce its prey. Now, it's the beak of the little kingfisher that inspired the Japanese bullet train, and that's known as biomimicry, when nature inspires something in the technological world or engineering world. The diet of the kingfisher is mainly things that it would find in the river itself. So sticklebacks, little minnows, tadpoles, dragonfly nymphs, water beetles. And the nests that they build are quite cool. They're not nests as we know. They're actually burrows in the bankings, the same way as the sand martins make. But these ones go quite a long way back. They've got a small dent in the middle in their nesting chamber, and the little dip or dent prevents their precious eggs from coming out of the nest and rolling and getting damaged. There are 87 different species of kingfishers, including the kookaburra from Australia, although in Europe here we only have one. We've already discussed the beak of the kingfisher and how it helps to catch its prey. But what I should have mentioned is it's actually aerodynamically efficient, and that allows maximum speed and minimum splash while it's hunting. The lark, one that loves to live in the grassland on our farm here. Let's have a look.
He rises and begins to round. He drops the silver chain of sound, of many links without a break, in chirrup, whistle, slur and shake, all intervolved and spreading wide, like water dimples down a tide, where ripple over curls, and eddy into eddy whirls, a press of hurried notes that run, so fleet they scarce are more than one, yet changingly the trills repeat, and linger ringing while they fleet.
The cheeky old magpie's our next bird, boys and girls. Let's go and find out something about it.
The magpie is drawn to shiny things and often takes these things to its nest. I wonder if you could be little magpies in your house. What shiny things can you find?
Newt is our next word, boys and girls.
Newts like to live in damp places, and Farmer William was a real hero last year when he discovered this little newt in the bike shed. Now, this little newt shouldn't really be there. It was too dry and dusty for him. So Farmer William picked him up and moved him to a nice damp place, saving his life. What a hero. And here they are, being moved to their new safe location. There they are, happy as Larry again.
There's lots of types of willow on the farm, and that's next in our book. Come on. So we get lots of different types of willow. One type of willow is what is the friendship dome in the quad is made out of. And we're about to have a look at a different type of willow, one that makes cricket bats, and it's called the cricket bat willow. Let's go. These are the cricket bat willows, and when they're big enough, they will eventually be made into cricket bats. Cool. Do you see them all in a nice row there, boys and girls? Lots of future cricket bats growing nicely. Our final little bird on the farm that we're going to look at from the book is a very special little wren. Come on.
This little wren is an adult one and only weighs about the same as a £1 coin. Wrens like to eat spiders and insects which they will find hopping and dashing along the ground and probing into crevices with their long thin bill. A beautiful welcome visitor at the farm.
Boys and girls, I haven't seen a sunset as beautiful as this for a long time. Thought you might like to see just before we go away. I hope you've enjoyed today looking at the lost birds with me, and I'll see you back at the farm tomorrow. Bye.